don't think I really care about getting the cursed ring. Like some more of those. I don't really care too much about getting contain either, honestly. Wouldn't mind getting that. We finally have a weapon that's quote-unquote better for Red 13. Yeah, I won't worry about getting any of that stuff. We're not going to need it. Wouldn't mind MP plus. I would get more HP plus, but would rather keep things difficult. Alright, there's one thing I want to check before I go too far. Okay, that's what I thought. So we have a couple enemies in the train section to check out. We could also check out the higher level version of the commander enemy. There's not really too much exciting going on there, but I talked about before, when you fail the Fort Condor minigame, there's 3 different commanders you can get on 3 different levels. The first time you fail it, you always get the easiest one. And then throughout the game, as you do Fort Condor, depending on your level, you either get the second hardest one or the hardest one. But the hardest one's AI is actually kind of whack. He doesn't really use his strongest moves much. And if you fail the huge materia quest, you always get that one. And that's the only one that drops the Imperial bracelet. Can you get multiple Imperial bracelets? No. No, I said that wrong. Throughout the game, if you fail it, you either get the easiest one or the second hardest one. You only get the hardest one the one time if you fail the huge materia side quest. Because you can only get one Imperial bracelet from him. The huge materia. Yep, you get one more in the North Crater, and that's it. It's pretty hard to fail them all. Fort Condor, you can complete the minigame and just never talk to the guy. I think. There's no difference, really. You just don't get 0 Bahamut. You don't get 0 Bahamut, and you can't get the Master Materia of that color. But most people didn't get Master Materia growing up anyways. Yeah. You can't get multiple copies, though. You only get the one. Beep, beep, Billy. Yeah! Captain Bob! Yo, Bob. Let's see, you can have this, and this, and that, I guess. I guess Yuffie's my magic caster now. Can have MP Turbo just for fun, I guess. And Poison for fun, I guess. Is Vincent's Limit Break most useless since you can't control him? I wouldn't call it useless. But, yes. Yes, it's the worst. Still strong, though. I mean, Chaos is crazy strong. If you use it right, it can be really good. And, you know, depending on what you're doing, like we did, if you watch the Vincent's Gambit playthrough, Vincent's Gambit was a mod Pet Friend and me created that you have to fight the final dungeon with just Vincent. And his limit came in very big handy multiple times because of the heal it gives you. Alright, so I guess we'll fail this on purpose. So we can see the stronger... I mean, there's really not much to see, but... why not? Yes, Kate Sith is technically the strongest character in the game. Regrettably. Because of Game Over. I said in my video about Kate Sith that there's only 2 things in the game that can't be game overed. But actually that's wrong. There's like a lot of stuff. There's like 6 or 7 things in the game that can't be game overed. you're not really going to run into those. But there's a couple random things like magic pot before you throw an elixir. Game over doesn't work. Yeah, Vincent's Limit can be good. If you use them a lot, it can be good. The thing that's kind of annoying about Vincent is that he's kind of a mage. He has the most MP in the game other than Aerith, I think, and like the third highest magic. But then like his limit doesn't really take advantage of that much. Half the time he just physically attacks. Alright, here he is, Commander Grandhorn. So this version of the enemy is the highest level. He's level 37. But he doesn't actually use his grand attack very often, whereas the other two use it pretty often. He does have 8,000 HP though. Which Red 13 laughs at. There's Grand Attack. This will do some damage too. Or not. Great enemy. We'll take that Imperial Guard though. Like, it's coded to be a final attack there, I believe. Like that, as he dies, he uses it. But it does no damage. So what's the point? Is 6 too young to show the boys who framed Roger Rabbit? Probably. Movie's pretty, like... I mean, I haven't seen it since forever ago, but... Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Alright, couple interesting enemies over on the train mission. We're at the part of the game here where you repeat a lot of stuff, so there's not as many enemies to talk about. But we'll get back into some new interesting enemies soon. But we do have the little mini boss enemies on the train. Let's give you something useful. It's true. Do we do the bomb glitch again? Can't with just one. If we get a double bomb fight, I'll do it again. For the memes. Yeah, I don't know what it was about our generation. I mean, it's also very bad for the coming generation because of the internet, but in terms of like TV and stuff, there was always just a lot of bad stuff on TV. But yeah, I couldn't tell you what's worse. The fact that we had monster marathons on TBS and South Park and Nick at Night, or kids growing up nowadays with AI slop and Fortnite. I think it's worse for them, I'll be honest with you. I think we got off easy, honestly. Adult Swim, I should say, more than Nick at Night. Nick at Night was like just like teenager shows, wasn't it? Yeah, at least we didn't have 40-year-olds trying to get our phone number on Adult Swim. So, you know. we had it easy. Yeah, it had like old and I Love Lucy and stuff. Old sitcoms. Which I kind of enjoyed because I liked older shows because I was used to watching GSN and watching old game shows. All in the Family. It's funny, even though G4 was literally a channel made for me, I rarely watched it. Alright, so first fight here we have Gas Ductor. Gas Ductor can inflict darkness, poison, sadness, and silence with Smog Alert, and uses it more based on missing HP. And oddly, just like a lot of these enemies, they're not weak to lightning. Every time I see this enemy, I think, oh, use Trine, it'll be good. But, nope, they're not weak against lightning. And I think... what does water do to them? Yeah, they take good damage to water. Or I think it's just normal, but yeah. I gotta be careful here. I can only talk so long because of the timer. I didn't really think about that. Gotta talk fast. Well, I guess it doesn't matter too much if I fail. Alright, this is the Wolfmeister. Wolfmeister is a pretty amazing name. It's actually a mistranslation of Wolfameter. Wolframeter? Wolframiter? W-O-L-F-R-A-M-I-T-E-R. Because wolframite is a tungsten mineral containing iron. So, Iron Man, tungsten. They should keep Wolfmeister the name for the 3rd remake game, though, and they probably will. Has a chance to cast Big Guard on himself, which increases as he loses HP. This is the only one of the enemy skills used by an enemy in the game that cannot be learned by the party, as he is immune to confusion and manipulate. I said that weird. This is one of the only enemy skills used by an enemy in the game that cannot be learned by the party, because he's immune to confusion and manipulate. He's susceptible to gravity and weak to water. Surprisingly, he has a magic attack called Atomic Ray, which does non-elemental damage. And he also has some pretty cool concept art. This is technically the concept art for Iron Man, but this guy comes first, so there you go. Very cool. Looks like Heartless from Kingdom Hearts, especially his head. He looks like Darkseid. I don't know what that is on the sword. Maybe someone can tell us in the comments. Because it's not on his actual sword, it's only in the concept art. Boom. Red 13 Angie. And now we have Eagle Gun. Technically, this guy isn't a boss, but this is the only place he appears in this one forced fight. He has an unused formation on the Sister Ray, indicating that he may have been an enemy before Hojo at one point. And he's the only source of the Warrior Bangle. You have to steal it from him. And Laser, at the start of the fight, does 8,500 damage because he has so much HP, and he's actually weak against Laser. Wait, is he weak to gravity? I don't know if he's weak to gravity or if it's just because of the crazy HP. I can double check that. Did I forget to grab steel? Rip. It's alright, we have the Gigas Armlet. Right. If it was weak against it, it would one-shot him, so I don't think he is weak against it. I put in my note he's weak against it. I think I meant to put susceptible. Because like we talked about earlier, if you're weak against gravity, then laser one-shots you because it does half damage. So if you're weak against it, it does full damage. Unless you have enough HP to survive 9s. Undefeated is what Alundra said. Says the text says. That's pretty cool. And this guy's just a normal attack squad. We did it. We explained all the enemy trivia and didn't crash the train. The old man. Do I have any notes on... Doesn't look like I do. Oh, here we go. In my Iron Man notes, I talk about the kanji. Which the translation I found says rising without defeat. But yeah, similar. And I think I have the same concept art. Yeah. Sid's always the old man. It'd be cool if they took some of the phrases from the concept art and wrote them in English in the remake. And now we're on to Junon, where we actually have a lot of enemies to talk about. Junon has a crazy amount of new enemies. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Kanji looks a lot cooler. Yeah, it would be cool to see it written on the sword in the in-game model, you know? Should I guess it doesn't really matter. I can do this just for the memes, but... The Wolfmeister. Alright, so let's talk about Ultimate Weapon. So this first fight with Ultimate Weapon always plays out the same. He starts with Quake 2, follows up with a Claw attack, and then uses Ultima Beam, and then flees. He has the same amount of HP here as he does in his actual fight later, 100,000 HP. And if you somehow do 100,000 HP before he flees, he just flees early, and you still won't get anything from the fight. The only thing you can get here is the Curse Ring by stealing from him, which is weird because you also get a Curse Ring from Mediel. So I don't know if they just maybe added the Curse Ring quest later and forgot to take it away from Ultimate Weapon or something, but I really don't think it was intended to get 2 Curse Rings in the same area. Technically, he has Shadow Flare on his attack table, but he doesn't use it. One of my favorite fun facts about this fight that I always like to bring up is the fact that Ultima Beam is the only damaging hidden elemental attack in the game. And since some materia, like the enemy skill materia, counts as hidden element, you can equip elemental with enemy skill and it'll actually have the damage from Ultima Beam. Or if you even level up elemental more, you could get like absorption from it. Also, one cool fun fact that I never knew about is the Japanese version. In the Japanese version, he was level 60. But in the US version, when they added Emerald Weapon and Ruby Weapon, they also gave Ultimate Weapon a massive buff, and he is now level 61 in this version. So they really weren't messing around with the English version. They really wanted to make it harder on us. They thought those silly Americans were always giving them easier versions of our games. No longer. We're going to really give it to them good this time. Gave Ultimate Weapon a single level. And yes, the damage you do in this fight actually matters later, but we'll talk about that when we fight him the second time. Also, ow. He crit. That was not nice. Let's actually get some good damage on him with Stardust Ray. Alright, so if you notice, I gave Yuffie elemental enemy skills, so she'll take far less damage than everyone else. And he's gone. And that's that for Ultimate Weapon. We'll talk more about the way his HP works when we fight his second form. I have like a whole page of notes for Ultimate Weapon when we fight him later. Might be the most notes I have for a boss. How many notes do I have for carry armor? Good question. Probably just a note that says, like a frowny face or something. Use Knights of the Round, yeah. How's it going, Lumi? Happy New Year. Carry armor, I have a pretty good chunk of notes, actually. Pretty much all the bosses from here on out, I have a pretty good chunk of stuff. Mr. Run Killer himself, carry armor. I don't know if we'll get to carry armor today or not. Probably will. I had a pretty nice New Year's. We usually sit around playing board games, but this year we like got the talking, and then we were like, why force ourselves to play a board game when we're just enjoying sitting and talking? So we just sat and talked all night. No, he can grab two characters. He very often grabs two characters. Yeah, we have a lot of fun board games. We just haven't really given ourselves the time to play them lately. And whenever we have time to play them, we're like, I'm too tired to like think. I think we're just gonna collect board games for the next like 10 years, and then when our kids are old enough, they'll be more fun. Right now, we really only play kid board games that the kids can play with us. And then, like I said, by the time we're alone and able to play adult board games, we're like, yeah, I don't want to get all that out. But when the kids are older and we can play adult board games with them, that'll be fun. I look forward to that. Oh no, you're that friend that just throws the board game every time? Oof. Hate to see it. My wife and I really loved Dominion back in college. Played a lot of Dominion. We also had a little stint where we played a bunch of co-op board games. So co-op board games are really fun. Clue is great because it has a rip cord that you can pull at any time to get out of the game. I'm not inviting any of you guys to my board game parties. I do feel it though, like it comes in waves. I'll have like a year where I really like board games, and I'll get like a new board game and think it's great and want to play it with everyone. And then I'll have years where I just cannot stand the thought of playing a board game. Like, I just do not want to play at all. The thought of sitting down and learning the rules to a new board game just sounds like nails on a chalkboard. Kid board games are always fun, though. You know, playing games with my kids is always fun and easy to do, and it's something we can do together that's not like try to kill dad. Although my oldest son cheats at every game, and it's like the most frustrating thing ever, because kids cheat at games all the time, like it's nothing new, but he just like, he does not understand why cheating is bad, and will cheat at like the most ridiculous times ever and just make everyone want to quit. It's so frustrating, and we just cannot seem to get it through his head. Like, he will be winning and one turn away from winning the whole game and then, like, cheat. And we're just like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you're winning. And then he'll get mad at us for calling him a cheater. And we're like, what are you doing? You were going to win. And then he just doesn't get it. Just does not compute in his head. I'll make an exposed video about him. He's banned. Banned from board games for life. He'll get it eventually. It's one of those things where, like, as an adult, you just cannot fathom what's going on in his head, you know? It's like, whenever you cheat, everyone immediately quits the game. And no one wants to play with you because you cheat. And cheating doesn't even work for you. And yet you do it anyways. Like, what are you getting out of this? But he doesn't think about what he's getting out of it. He just does it. Which is a common occurrence for a lot of things that he does. He just does it. Doesn't think about it. But he's getting better. As he's getting older, he's getting better. I just imagine like a whole serious documentary about my son cheating at Uno. As you can see here, he clearly looked at the next card on the stack, decided he didn't like it, put it back, and tried to pull the next card off the stack. I got the video proof right here. The kitchen nightmares sound effect. That's what's so crazy. It's just like ingrained in their brain to cheat. Because he doesn't even care that much about winning, honestly. I don't think he cheats to win. You know, he doesn't even think that far. It's just like he's playing the game and he reaches for a card and he knows that that's not the card he wants. So then he tries to cheat to get the card that he wants. He's not even thinking far enough ahead to be like, if I get this card, I'll win the game. You know what I mean? And like, he doesn't even think far enough to think like, oh, I'll get caught and then no one else will want to play anymore. It's not even that far. It's just like in the moment he sees a card and he's like, I don't want that card. I want that card. And then just does it. You know what I mean? It's just typical kid brain. And it's even worse for him. He has, you know, no impulse control whatsoever. So, but I don't think that's only him. I think every kid struggles with impulse control one way or the other. It's just extra bad for him. And then my youngest, not my youngest anymore, my middle child, you know, he sees him cheat, and then of course he's like, well, I have to cheat because like he's cheating. I'm gonna lose if I don't cheat. And then suddenly it's everybody for themselves. It's just like in my brain, first of all, baby's still new, so I've always called my middle child my youngest, so it just makes sense to keep saying it. But second of all, he's my youngest boy, so in my brain, I'm like, I have my oldest boy, my youngest boy, and then baby. So youngest still makes sense. Listen, my youngest gets to stay my youngest until the baby is 1 year old, because she's not even a year old yet. She doesn't have an age. Her age is 0. Doesn't count. so he's still the youngest. She has 0 age. It's like when it's 0 degrees outside and someone asks, what's the temperature outside? And you say, there isn't one. There is no temperature. It's 0. Nah, I'm just a dad. I've been cursed to a life of dad jokes forever now. I totally hit my son with the see you next year on New Year's Eve. Even I groaned at myself for that one, but he laughed, so I win. Doesn't matter because he laughed. I do not read Fortnite jokes to my kids. They wouldn't get them anyways. No one gets them because they're not jokes. Thank you for the bits left over. Also, thank you for the Prime foil. And Azrael, thank you for the 52. And Ballerina, I think I missed your 48 earlier, but thank you. Thanks everyone for the support today. I really appreciate it. Guys, I'm so excited for Monday. Like, I can't stop thinking about Monday. Monday, we're doing a massive card opening of the Commander set of Final Fantasy MTG. And we're going to talk about all the lore, all the references, everything there is to talk about each card in the set. It's going to be awesome. And then Tuesday, I have a bit of a surprise as well. Final Fantasy related. It's gonna be it. It's gonna be a hot one next week. I haven't seen like any of the commander cards, by the way. I've kept completely blind to pretty much all of them, so it's going to be awesome. All the stuff we opened last year was base set. And we still have a lot of cards to look at in the base set, but that'll be later. That'll be down the road. But if you're interested, our entire 9-hour opening of the base set is on YouTube, and it's one of my favorite streams we've ever done. It's just 9 hours of opening Final Fantasy cards and talking about what game it came from, the references, everything. And it's on YouTube if you're interested in just having a 9-hour second monitor type video. I really recommend it. It was a really awesome time. And we're going to be doing that again on Monday. Dude, how far off are we from Final Fantasy 17? I mean, yes, they could be secretly working on it, but given that they're working on Kingdom Hearts 4 and Remake Part 3, dude, I don't know. I don't know if they're even like... They were waiting for feedback on 16 too, given how different 16 was. So it's not like they were working on it during 16. So like if they haven't even started it yet, dude, it's going to be like 2034 before we see it. It's going to be past 2030 before we even hear about it. Yeah, for sure. They could 100% be working on it, but given how 16 went and given the other projects, I don't know. There's a good chance that they haven't even like really worked on it much. Having said that, I do think that the development cycle of 17 versus 16 is going to be a lot shorter. It was 7 years between 15 and 16 because of the PS5. So, you know, that made a big difference. But 17 was always going to be PS5 and always going to be like, especially now that they're focusing more on PC engine stuff, I think they already knew what 17 was going to be for a while. So I think the development cycle of 17 will be quite a bit shorter, but I just don't know if they've even started it, is the thing. I'm sure there's some rumblings, but yeah, it could genuinely be, nice glitch, it could genuinely be a long time. But we'll have plenty to play in the meantime with Kingdom Hearts 4 and Remake Part 3. Which, from what I've heard, I haven't really attempted to really dig deep into what Square is doing, and I never really do. I prefer to just be surprised. I don't like to look at leaks or try to talk to insiders or anything. I prefer to be on the same side as everyone else and just enjoy the surprise of games coming out. But having said that, some of the stuff that I have heard led me to believe that we were definitely going to get some Kingdom Hearts 4 news in 2025. I was actually kind of shocked. There was literally nothing at the Game Awards from Square at all. And I can't say I'm sad about it either. I kind of like that Square is just sitting in their office getting the work done. That definitely seems like at some point in 2026, they're just going to be like, boom, here's all the stuff we've been working on for 3 years, you know? They're going to hit us with a Silk Song type beat, and I'm all for it. I much prefer this new Square Enix that just does stuff instead of constantly drip feeding us nonsense, whether it be, here's a tech demo that looks awfully like a Final Fantasy VII remake, or here's a Kingdom Hearts mobile game that's totally setting up the story for a game we're going to make in 10 years, or here's a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 10 years before you ever see. Like, we got a trailer. Remember, we got a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4. 2. We got a story trailer and a gameplay trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 years ago. Like, that's the kind of crap they were doing 5 years ago. They would just drop like, hey, we're thinking about making a game in the future, you know? So it's nice to see that they're just not really doing that anymore. I think part of it is the new leadership and like their new mentality towards a lot of stuff. It's just nice. I think a lot of companies are kind of doing that now, and it's way better. Honestly, not having E3 I think helps a lot. I think E3 was a huge pressure for companies to say we're working on stuff even when they weren't anywhere near finishing stuff. Caution. Remember Final Fantasy Versus 13? You mean Kingdom Hearts 3? Somebody will get that joke. Not many of you, but some of you will. That's all that matters. Please laugh. I wouldn't say it only died because of the pandemic. The pandemic was the final straw, but it was dying before that. It was declining before that. They could have made a comeback. It was declining, but they could have, like, revamped it and brought it back. But, the pandemic was a perfect excuse to be like, yeah, okay, we're done. Yeah. Can we fight? I think we have to do this to fight the Slalom. Boing. I don't know if he shows up downstairs. Alright, this is the Slalom. He looks just like a lot of the other enemies like this, but he is his own unique version. The Slalom is the only infinite smoke bomb steal in the game. The only other infinite smoke bomb is drops from Edgeheads and Wutai. Similar to Smogger, he has two separate moves that are both called Smog, but one inflicts poison and one inflicts darkness. The poison one is always used first, and then there's a chance for him to follow it up with the darkness version, which scales with missing HP. Unlike with Smogger, you have Manipulate at this point in the game, and since both Smogs show up in Manipulate, it makes for a goofy-looking Manip menu. So do we have Manip right now? No. Let's run away and grab Manip so I can show you what I mean. Also, we have some stuff to equip. Didn't I? I thought I bought the crystal sword. I guess I didn't. Let's give you... It doesn't really matter. Let's get our magic caster back in action. Oh man, Cloud's huge now. Cloud is absolutely juiced. Give me manipulate, give me steal. I don't even know what to give you. Who has the other restore? You? Give me restore. You can level up those just for fun. You can level up this just for fun. You can have poison and gravity just for fun and all this. Actually, you can take that. Whatever, you get all the goofy stuff. That's fine. Alright, let's redo this fight again. So, like I said, similar to the other version, they have two versions of the same move, but the previous one was immune to manipulate. These guys are not. So if you manipulate, you can see they have two Smogs in their table, which looks kind of goofy. One is the poison one and one is the darkness one. Yeah, Cloud is in X Games mode right now. Did I give him his circlet back? And I could also give him the wizard bracelet. Oh my god, he has 151 magic.